What can a centuries-old folktale about a zombie wizard really teach us about modern strategy? Well, it turns out a ton. We're about to dive into this classic story of a soldier and a sorcerer, and we're going to deconstruct a timeless lesson in how you defeat an enemy that seems, well, completely unbeatable.
So the whole thing kicks off with a pretty dire warning. We've got a soldier, he's finally been discharged, he's heading home, and he stops to see an old friend, a miller. But the welcome he gets is grim. The miller drops this chilling line on him, setting the stage for an undead sorcerer who has the entire village just paralyzed with fear. So we're going to follow this soldier right into the darkness. We're going to see how he confronts this monster, not with a sword, but with a simple question. And in doing that, he uncovers this brilliant strategy where knowledge, not brawn, is what triumphs over pure evil.
All right, so the stage is set, right? You've got a cursed village haunted by this thing that seems totally invincible, and walking right into the middle of all of it is our hero, a soldier who's really just trying to get home to his family.
And the conflict is just framed so perfectly here. On one side, you have this soldier. He's a state servant, someone who cannot be drowned nor be burned. He's basically a symbol of order, of resilience. And on the other side, the sorcerer, a supernatural force of pure chaos, risen from the dead, terrorizing everybody. It's the ultimate showdown, man versus monster.
So the miller gives him this terrifying warning. And does the soldier listen? Of course not. He's a soldier. He wants to see his family, and he just presses on. No hesitation. And of course, his path takes him straight through the graveyard, the sorcerer's home turf, setting us up for their first critical encounter. And this is where the story gets really weird. The soldier sees this strange glow on a grave, and he finds the sorcerer sewing shoes. Yeah, you heard me right. Sewing shoes. Instead of a big fight, the sorcerer invites him to a wedding in the village. It's this bizarre, tense invitation, and the soldier just accepts. So they get to the wedding, and things go south fast. The sorcerer eats, he drinks, and then in a total fit of rage, he drives everyone out. He does this horrific ritual, stealing the blood from the bride and groom to make sure they die. But here's the key, get this. Through all of this horror, the soldier does nothing. He doesn't draw his sword, he doesn't try to stop him, he just watches. And he waits. Okay, now we're getting to the most important part of the story, because this is the moment where the sorcerer's own pride becomes the very weapon that's going to take him down. And this quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? This is the sorcerer's fatal flaw, his incredible arrogance. After doing this terrible thing, he turns to the soldier and boasts, I carry out whatever I desire. And that is the opening the soldier has been patiently waiting for.
And this is what's so brilliant. The soldier's greatest weapon isn't his steel, it's his mind. He knows this boastful monster is vulnerable, not to a physical attack, but to his own massive ego. So he engages him in conversation. He's gathering intelligence while any other hero would have just started swinging.
I mean, think about it. This is the core problem the soldier is facing. How do you kill something that's already dead? You can't stab it, a normal fire won't work. The soldier knows he needs a different kind of weapon, information, and he masterfully baits the sorcerer into giving him exactly what he needs. And because he's so arrogant, the sorcerer doesn't just give him a hint about his weakness. Oh no, he lays out the entire step-by-step instruction manual for his own destruction. The soldier just listens, soaking it all in, and right there he formulates a brilliant two-part plan based entirely on the enemy's intel. And here it is, the whole blueprint, served up on a silver platter. First, the sorcerer explains how to reverse the curse on the bride and groom. Then, he details the exact ritual to destroy him for good, a massive pyre of aspen wood. And then the most critical detail. Every single creature that crawls out of that fire has to be caught and thrown back in, or he'll just regenerate from it. He literally hands the soldier the keys to victory. So, as soon as that rooster crows and the sorcerer just collapses, powerless, the first part of the plan kicks in. And it all hinges on this number, 2. The 2 bladders of blood that the soldier immediately grabs from the sorcerer's pockets. I mean, how brilliant is this? The soldier goes to the grieving family, and using the exact method the sorcerer himself described, he brings the bride and groom back to life. He takes the villain's own dark magic and just flips it on him,
This not only reverses the evil deed, but it earns him the complete trust of the entire village for what has to happen next.
Now for part 2. And this builds right on that first win. We're going from 2 bladders of blood to this massive number, 100. 100 cartloads of aspen wood, the very specific fuel the sorcerer himself said was needed to destroy him.
See, this is where the soldier goes from just a strategist to a real commander. He knows he can't do this alone, so he mobilizes the whole community, gives everyone a job, they gather the wood, they drag the sorcerer's body from the grave, and most importantly, they surround that fire armed with shovels and pokers, ready for the containment phase. This is a total community effort. The climax is just pure gothic horror, but it's also a masterclass in seeing a plan through to the end. As the sorcerer burns, his body bursts open, and all these horrible creatures, snakes, worms, you name it, pour out. But the villagers, following the plan, are ready. They beat every single creature back into the fire, making sure not one piece escapes. Total containment, total victory.
So, okay, amazing story, but why are we still talking about it hundreds of years later? Let's switch gears from the story itself to the analysis and look at the key takeaways that make this simple tale so incredibly powerful.
The story's power really boils down to 3 big ideas. First, hubris. The sorcerer's arrogance is his own downfall. Second, knowledge over brawn. The soldier wins by listening and gathering intel, not by just rushing into a sword fight. And third, community action. That final victory was absolutely impossible without the organized effort of the whole village.
And that's what makes this folktale so timeless. Its structure isn't just a spooky campfire story. It's a perfect strategic blueprint. You have a powerful, seemingly invincible villain who, out of sheer arrogance, reveals the secret to their own defeat. And once you see that pattern, you'll start to realize it's a foundational trope in storytelling, from ancient myths all the way to modern blockbusters. Which leaves me with one final thought for you. The next time you're watching a movie and the supervillain starts that long monologue explaining their master plan or their one tiny weakness, remember the soldier and the sorcerer. So, what modern movie villain can you think of who made this exact same fatal mistake? It's a pattern you're going to start seeing